Hey everyone, this is Tammy with my whimsical day. We are going to make these cute little snowman ornaments. I used tiny bamboo spoons from Hobby Lobby, and here's a package of them. They come 6 in a package, I believe. Yes, 6. And if you get them on sale, you can get them for just a couple bucks. So that's the way to get everything at Hobby Lobby. I'm just using Hobby Lobby's white acrylic paint in white, and I'm painting just the spoon part, and I'm giving it a dry, and then I will give it another second coat, and then I go offline and I paint 2 more spoons because I'm going to be doing 2 projects in this video. So the first one, you don't need to paint the whole spoon, but like I said, I did give it 2 coats. And so I measured around where his hat's going to go, the width, to wrap it around. And I don't need it quite that long, but I do need it a lot longer than the spoon, and you'll see why when I get started here. So I'm going to glue it in the front first. Then I'll wrap it around and glue both those ends and secure it in the back. And I'm just kind of deciding I didn't need that much, so I cut a lot off, and I'm going to glue it all the way up. And now I'm just securing it in a couple more places, making sure it's glued on the spoon really well. So now I'm just kind of standing it up and gathering the fabric down, sliding it down on the spoon handle. Then I leave a little bit at the top, and I'm even going to cut some off. And I'm gluing just a little bit on there so it will stay put. And then I'm going to get some twine and tie at the top there. And this makes it like a big, long, baggy hat. Now I'm going to use my Posca markers. These are actually acrylic paint in a marker form. So I'm going to use the black and do 2 dots for eyes. And I'll also do smaller dots for his mouth. Just using a regular kind of a gel pen for his eyebrows. I've got some just scrap chipboard here, so I'm cutting a teeny tiny triangle for his nose. And I'm using some folk art paint in the color Pueblo to paint his tiny, tiny nose. It was so small, it's really hard to handle. I'll give that a dry, and then I will glue it on his face. Trying to dry it, and it blows away. Here's where I decided I'll put on his dots for his mouth now. I think I just put 5. And I will glue his nose just going off to the side. I just dabbed my stylus in a little bit of paint to put some white dots in the black of his eyes. So now I've got this chenille red yarn that I get at the dollar store, Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to do some chain stitches and make him a little furry band to go around the rim of his hat. So I think I do about 10 chains, then I tie it off. And this worked out perfect for his small little hat. Just bring that thread through the end and tie it off. So I'm starting it in back, and it will go clear around his head and end in back. But I'm gluing it all the way around so it stays where I want it to stay, on the brim of his hat. And then I will just glue it to the end and cut off the excess there. And since it's glued on, I don't worry about it unraveling. And that was perfect for his little hat. And then I forgot I glued inside. I was going to actually pull it down and put the twine for a hanger inside his hat, but I forgot I glued it, so I couldn't bring it down. But I was still able to stick the ends of the loop down in there and glue it. And then I retie it with jute cord again. So I just carefully open it up and stick a little bit of glue down there and stick the ends down there till it dries. And that way it's got a hanger if you want to hang it on your tree or on a gift package or something like that. So I tie it with twine, and then tie it in a bow, and I decided, I thought I had some teeny tiny little rusty jingle bells, but I couldn't. In fact, I know I do somewhere, but they weren't in my bowl with my rusty stuff. So I just grabbed a regular small little button and put on the center of that bowl. And that's it for that little snowman. So with the other two spoons, these are going to be snowmen as well, but they're going the opposite direction. So the handle of the spoon will, I guess, be their bodies. So I'm doing the kind of a similar thing with this hat, gluing it on there, but it's not as long and high as the other one, as you can see. I'm going to glue it on in the back and then just tie the top with some twine after I gather it. I get it tied in a knot and then pull it up a little bit. I do it for both of them, and now I'm going to draw his little eyes and mouth on both of those little snowman faces. And it would look really cute to put some little pink cheeks on too, but I didn't. That's an option as well. Putting on his little eyebrows. I have these little brads, metal brads, and they're in the heart shape. And so I just use my wire cutters and cut off the little brad pokey things and used them as a little bronze button on top of his hat. And I thought it turned out really cute. Just putting it over the knot of the twine. I'm going to do the same thing for their hats, and so I chain, I think 20, and I just make this whole thing fit both their hats. So I'll chain 20 stitches, and then I'll tie it off, and I'll glue it on the one, and then cut it off, and then glue it on the other one, as you'll see in a moment. So again, I'm just going to start in the back and wrap it clear around and glue all the way around as I go. And I just guessed how long to make it, and I'm glad I guessed right because it fit both hats. Had some glue strings hanging all over. And then I glue clear to the end and cut off that excess. Looking cute. So I'm going to put little white dots in their eyes as well. Now I'm going to make the 5 little dots for their mouths. And I'm doing the same exact thing for their noses. Off camera, I made 2 little noses out of some scrap chipboard I had. And I wanted the nose on the second one to point the other way, because I'm going to glue these together side by side, but one higher than the other. So I looked at where they would be touching and I put some glue there. I'm just gluing them on the sides there. Just holding it for a moment till it sets up. And now I'm going to crochet a long piece, enough for their scarves. And I ended up chaining 40 chains, 40 stitches, which ended up being probably a little bit too long, but I just used it anyway. So the scarf ends up being kind of longer than I wanted it, but it looks super, super cute. So like I said, I'm doing 40 chains, and I will wrap it around both their necks together, and I wrap it around twice, and then I'll bring it around and tie it in the front. So I started out with a little dab of glue just to hold it where I want it so it wouldn't move. Like I said, I bring it around, I wrap it around twice, and then I tie it in the knot to the side a little bit. And then I reinforce it in the back. And as you can see, the scarf is hanging down quite low. And I was trying to decide what kind of buttons. I had some cute bigger buttons, but they were too big. So again, I just opted to put a small little brown button on, and it worked out just great. And you can see it's looking really cute. And all it needs now is a hanger. So I glued one end on the back of one hat, figured out just how long I needed it, and then glued the other end on the other hat. And that way you can hang it on a tree or on a gift package or something like that. And that is it for this project. So these 2 little snowmans are made out of those cute little bamboo spoons that you get at Hobby Lobby in the fall section. And I appreciate you watching. Thanks so much. Hope it inspires you to make something similar. You have a whimsical day.